one of them. So when you have moles of both reactants, this is a limiting reactant problem. So I have to do the work for the moles of lithium phosphate as well, and then choose the smaller number. So Mike, thanks for calling that to my attention. I'm sorry I
I
missed
mean,
this.
but no, it's like the question, it was marked correct in the homework. Because I had the exact same question for my homework, but it had the same answer you did, but I was just thrown off like with the moles of lithium phosphate. But I mean, when I entered it in, because it asked for the moles of calcium
Right.
phosphate, not, but what do we do with the other portion of it, I guess? Are we supposed to do anything? Because the homework doesn't ask for it.
Well, okay, so I'm going to do it. It's not going to affect our answer,
Okay.
but let me explain why that is because that's an important part of this. And so, um, okay, so this will turn out to be my answer, but you can see that the calcium in my calcium phosphate comes from my calcium nitrate, but the phosphate, the PO43 minus, comes from my lithium phosphate. So I've got to think about this as well. And okay, I already worked the 1.55. Now let me work with the 1.63. And this is going to be a continuing theme today, by the way, but not that I miss stuff, but that whenever you're given moles of anything, if you're given moles of two things, you have to use moles of two things to find your answer. All right, so now I have 1.63 moles of lithium phosphate. I know that for every 2 moles of lithium phosphate, I can make 1 mole of calcium phosphate. And now when I do this math, 1.63 divided by 2, I get 0.815. Again, calcium phosphate, because that's what we're making here, and that's how our units cancel out. But, so this is a limiting reactant problem, which means that you always take the smaller amount. So this number here is the amount that can be made. Or so let's just write can be made. And it doesn't ask for it, but in this case, calcium nitrate was our limiting reactant. And so, Mike, no, it did not change our answer. But what we will see is that we have to do both of these in future problems and always take the smaller amount because it's the smaller amount that can be made. And we can think of it this way. 0.517 moles of calcium phosphate can be made before we run out of calcium nitrate. 0.815 moles calcium phosphate can be made before we run out of lithium phosphate. And the smaller amount means that we ran out of calcium nitrate first. And that's what it means to be a limiting reactant.
So the limiting reactant is the 0.517?
So 1.55 moles of calcium nitrate is our limiting reactant.
Okay, and the other one is, okay, got it.
And this is the amount of products that can be made.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So let me just write that out. LR is my abbreviation for limiting reactant. Anyway, so it turned out not to affect the answer for this one, but we just got lucky. And that won't always be the case, as we will see. Any other questions about this?